Yo, what's going on, everybody? As always, it's your boy. They call me Jim. I'm him.
I am JOPP.
And we are Real Christian 100. Alright? Yes, sir. Thank you guys again for tuning in to another one of our episodes. It's 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks.
3 weeks in a row, man.
3 weeks strong.
We're going strong, y'all.
Yeah, man. We're
going strong.
We rebounding good.
We trying.
We back for now.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can stay here, man. Y'all keep us lifted up, man. Y'all keep us lifted up. This week almost didn't even happen.
Not at all.
Seriously.
Today's Thursday.
Right.
We record on Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, man. Then we almost didn't end up recording today.
What matters
we gonna reschedule tomorrow. That wasn't gonna end up happening.
Not at all.
But we here.
We here, man.
For y'all, because we love y'all, man. We nothing without y'all.
That's facts, though.
But always, man, as always, we're gonna ask for you guys to like, to comment, to subscribe, and to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, and tell your mama, your baby mama, and your baby's mama. And the same goes for the daddies and the baby daddies and the baby daddies. All that. Yeah, man. But we got some stuff to talk about today. This is gonna be a good one. And I don't think a lot of people talk about it a whole lot in detail and in context. Today we want to talk about self-control. Self-control, man. I think that there's a lot of nuggets to talk on and to dive into with that. Yo, man, if you saw last week's video, you could see the frustration in my face from all the banging. I got about 6 little kids, man. There's 6 little kids that live above me, man. And
He's not lying.
They be doing their thing, man. I'm surprised, that had to be God, because they was just on the balcony, bankhead bouncing, 8-count stomping, crip walking. I don't know what they were doing, man. Them kids is loud, man.
They making noise, though.
Yeah, bro. So if you hear them,
self-control, you know what I'm saying?
Not up
there
I gotta practice self-control with that situation. They need to practice self-control to learn how to get somewhere and sit down, bro. So I'll open up this one.
Cool. Self-control,
man. Like, there's a lot of different angles that you can talk about with self-control. You can talk about, like, emotionally, either dealing with anger or dealing with just being emotional, like how you manage your emotions. You can talk about, self-control with the really it all deals with the flesh, but like sexually, how you handle, those lustful desires and things that come, and then self-control with your tongue, the things that come out your mouth. And that's where I'm gonna start.
Man,
yeah, man. Yeah. And I want to share this scripture. I got my laptop right here. Proverbs 25:28. It says, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Mm-hmm. So when I read that, what I get is that, when you don't practice self-control and you don't have self-control, you're allowing anything to come in. Like, there's no guard, there's no safety net. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how I am with my mouth. Mm-hmm. With my mouth, man, because I've never been one to bite my tongue. Mm-hmm. I hold back what I truly am thinking and what I truly want to say.
No way.
And yeah, man, that joint comes to bite me in the butt sometimes. Oftentimes you end up saying stuff that you regret, or you speak too soon, and it doesn't come out as you really want to articulate it. Like, I've learned a lot in my marriage that I have to be mindful with, especially the dynamic of a man versus a woman, and how a man talks and how a woman receives it, and things like that. It's just like you have to, or it's just gonna cause constant.
We was just talking about that at marriage counseling too. That's wild.
For real?
Yeah. Everything you just said.
It's big. It's important stuff. That communication is super important. But yeah, man, when it comes to self-control with my mouth, it's an issue. Mm-hmm. It's an issue. Bible talks about, I don't remember what the scripture, but it talks about a wise man is slow to speak, quick to listen, and things like that. And that's definitely an area that I have to grow in, that I have to learn in. And I'm about to switch directions a little bit and talk about lust of the flesh, like just lust I'm a man. Y'all remember the episode we did about sex and stuff? You know, I don't have the little glow stick joint, not glow stick, the little glitter joint. But you know, I'm a man. You know, and sometimes you feel a certain way about some type of things, and you know, you have to be able to have that self-control to monitor and maintain yourself and things like that. So what is it? I have it right here. In 1 Corinthians, it talks about how God will never tempt you more than you can bear. And I just be like, Lord, why is this joy so hard?
I can't bear it, Lord. What you mean?
Right. I be like, yo,
you
so
told me, man.
Is there like a hidden message in this? Like, can I really, really bear this? Or is this metaphorical for something? Because sometimes I truly be feeling like, bro, I can't, like, I got an urge. It could be for anything. It could be whether if it's with lust, or if somebody says something that really pissed me off, and I just gotta verbalize what I need to say. Sometimes I be feeling like, yo, I gotta get that out. But then it makes me think of. It just came to my head right now, you know, where the Bible talks about, you know, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
That's a fact.
And, you know, how important it is for us to feed, you know, our spirit, man. You know, whichever one, you're going to know which one is dominant and has the strength in your life just by the way that you live and the things that you do. If you're not catering to that spirit, man, to outweigh and you know be stronger than your flesh,
then you're in trouble.
I mean, every time you're gonna fall. So you know, just reflecting on that scripture when it's talking about, you know, that God would never put more on you than you can bear. That's true, but that don't mean that you won't put more on yourself.
I mean, that's a fact.
Man, you could just be making matters worse for yourself. But you know, self-control is a real thing. You know, it's something that we all need to deal with, something that we all got to work through. And you know, it's not an overnight process. It's really like a lifelong thing that you're gonna have to grow and learn. And so that's my thought. That's my take.
That's good stuff, bro. And I mean, I would say, just to piggyback off of that, like when it comes to like God putting us in situations that we can't bear, the way that I view it is like, it's like a life or death situation. I think about if I was in situations where there were critical times for me to make critical decisions, I would probably make that decision ASAP. So like, say somebody was attacking my child, I'm not, you know, I'm right there with it. So it's like, we're not even thinking twice about it. I think when it comes to the temptations, you know, the Bible speaks about how, you know, we have the desires and, you know, then they start to conceive in our minds and, you know what I'm saying, starts to give birth to the action. So I think I think it's like different layers of what happens before we go through the actual physical process of doing things we shouldn't do.
Right.
But I think what the problem is what you said, if we're not catering to our spiritual man, then we're likely just going to give in to the flesh. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but it just means like if we don't stop it before it gets to that point, we're in trouble. And then there's situations where it's like, man, I'm in this predicament now that I just feel like I can't get out of. And then God is like, well, I mean, I gave you plenty of, you know, opportunities of an escape, and you still have that escape.
Right.
The question is, like, the window is small. It is small to get through that joint, and you're going to get your body stuck and your legs won't have to, but it's there though. So it's like one of the things that makes me think, it's like, man, am I taking that avenue? Because a lot of times I don't. You know, me personally, especially when it comes with self-control, a lot of times, you know, I'm just very like disobedient in terms of self-control. My spending habits.
I want to touch on that.
You know,
not you, but
but financially, I know like I shouldn't be spending this. It's not a matter of, but nah, bro, you know you shouldn't be spending it, and you're making the decision before you click submit, complete order, so there ain't nothing you need to do.
Right.
If you're catering to that. The spiritual man is going to be like, hey, man, proper stewardship is probably best right now. But if your flesh is more stronger and more dominant, obviously because you're in your flesh harder. So it's like you can't really fully submit to the spirit because right now you just in your flesh. And so it's like, man, you end up making a bad decision. And I'm looking at my history and I'm like, I'll be making some bad decisions because I don't have the self-control because I'm not catering to my spirit that gives me the self-control. I can't get it for myself. You know what I mean? And so it makes me think about this Bible verse. Well, just the definition of self-control, it says the ability to control oneself, in particular one's emotions and desires, or the expression of them and one's behavior. And then on top of that, there's a Bible verse in Galatians 5:22. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love. That's the first one. I always pay attention to when people write in the Bible. I pay attention to the first and the last word. I don't know why. But it says the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such, there's no law. So I'm like, he starts it off with love, which obviously we know is the whole commandment, basically. You know, love your neighbors as you love yourself.
Right.
You know, so he starts it off with love, which is extremely important. But he doesn't throw self-control in the beginning, in the middle. He throws it at the end. He says gentleness and self-control. So it makes me think like, wow, everything that's in between that is all an emotional thing. It's an expression. You can't have that. You can't be able to demonstrate those expressions without what it comes with at the end, self-control.
Right.
So it's like, if we don't have self-control, we can't practice love, patience, kindness, gentleness, because we don't have self-control. We can't even control our own tongue.
Right.
Which
I can't.
But bruh, to be honest with you, controlling your tongue is like almost impossible. You know, the Bible talks about how somebody can steer the wheel on a ship. Like a little wheel controls the entire ship.
Right.
And that's why it's like you need to control your mouth, because your tongue controls everything.
Right.
Like everything. Spiritually, physically, and you can't get whatever you put out. You can't never get that back.
Right.
I was learning that in marriage counseling as well. They were talking about like, when it comes to the things that you spit out, you can't get it back. So like you can ask for forgiveness. You can apologize and ask for forgiveness, but we're human, bro. We hold on.
Yep.
No matter what.
Yeah,
you can cry.
Forget.
I mean, yeah, you're not gonna forget, bro. You may not address the person, but in the back of your mind, you'll be thinking about it.
Right.
Like, wow, he did that. He said that.
You get an argument 3 years later. You remember 3 years ago
bro,
when you told
on May 14th, 2000 or whatever at 5:00 p.m. 31 seconds. But it's like, bro, so it just makes me think like, man, self-control has to be so essential, bro. So essential for us as believers, because without it, then we're controlled by something else.
Right.
If we don't have self-control, then the alternative is something has to control us.
Right.
You know what I mean? These are things that I'm always asking myself, because I'm like, bro, my finances, I don't have self-control of my finances. Sometimes my self-control with lust is not as good, nowhere near as good as it should be. There's just things in my life that I look at and I'm like, okay, JOPP, you need better self-control here, here. Now that you know and you assessed, how you going to get it?
Right.
You need to seek the Spirit. You need to ask God for strength. You need to connect better with the Lord. That's just my take on it, man.
Yeah, bro. Like, even just going back to that first scripture I was talking about, when it said it's like a city broken into, left without any walls. Like, you're just so exposed. Like, you're just so exposed. You know what else it makes me think about? It makes me think about that scripture where it talks about where they clean the house, they clean the demons out and everything, and the demon came back and was like, you know what I'm talking about? When he was like, you know, I see this house empty. Let me come back.
I don't know the verse, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Let me come back with my friends.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, when you just so exposed and like so open and like think of war. Like think of how exposed you would be at night if you had no walls around your house and anything could just come in and attack and take over you. And, you know, that's why it's so important to develop that self-control. And again, you know, it's not an overnight thing. Like, you're gonna practice self-control and you're gonna fail. But then you have to get back up and you have to get back on that horse. All these scriptures keep coming to my head. Like, that's wild. So now the scripture that just came to my head, where it talks about, you know, I believe it's in Philippians 3, where it talks about, you know, his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And I know for me, and I've talked to you about this too. I talk to people about it all the time, is that I've learned to never think too highly of myself, or to think that I'm capable of withstanding something. Because when I do that, I take a guard down.
Fact. I do the same, bro.
And then when you take that guard down, when that joint smacks you, it's just like, oh shoot, like how did this happen? Yeah. Like I didn't think I was capable of this. Yep. I've always been so strong inside this area. Yeah. And a lot of it was, you know, I was dependent on my strength. Mm-hmm. If I was focused on the strength of God, mm-hmm. you know, I would look at the situation and be like, you know, hey God, I know mm-hmm. that this is something that's capable. I need you to protect mm-hmm. me. I need you to look out for me. I need you to, you know, guide me through this so I don't fall into this kind of, you know, temptation and things like that. So yeah, man, self-control is a doozy, man.
It's a tough one, bro.
It's just like I think really when we talk about our faith, and you know they say that our walk is, you know, it's a lifetime thing, and you know it's not an overnight thing. Really, you touched on it. Like mm-hmm. self-control really is a very foundational mm-hmm. root piece mm-hmm. of our growth and development. Like that's what helps keep us from sin. That's what helps us stay on that thin and narrow. That's what helps us, you know, to remember who we are and whose we are and things like that, you know, because when it's not on the forefront of your mind,
everything collapses.
Stuff.
Bro, it's like that Bible verse I read where it had like love, patience, whatever. That's mm-hmm. that's like the hamburger bun. Everything else is between, and then the self-control is those are the foundations. The mm-hmm. love, the self-control keeps everything else in the center together, and without it, everything just looks disgusting. It crumbles. Yeah. And it's like, bro, self-control is like, it's so essential. And I didn't really, I thought about it, but I didn't really notice it as much until like I read the scripture today because I knew we were going to cover this topic. I was like, wow, self-control is so essential. And I wasn't even like doing like a deep research on it. I just mm-hmm. looked up a simple verse and then looked at it and was like, bro, why did he mention this joint last? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, self-control is essential, man.
Yeah, man. So I would say for me, just thinking of self-control, like I'm just thinking of my life and like the greatest area of self-control that I probably, I already touched on it. At first I was going to say, it's definitely my tongue. Yeah. Yeah, it's 100% my tongue. It's just not good.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy about self-control, bro? It's not only, so I know for a fact, my area, I definitely have a problem with my finances. Mm-hmm. That's one for sure. And it's also my mouth, but it's not from what I don't say, it's what I hold in. Mm-hmm. It's weird, bro, because it's like, it's not the fact, because sometimes I pride myself on being slow to speak. Like a lot of times people will say things to me and I'll overanalyze it to figure out which direction I want to come with. Mm-hmm. But while I'm doing that, I'm saying things inwardly towards this person without them knowing, dog. Oh, I got and that blows me because I'm like, that's really the flesh side of me, bro. Because I might outwardly be like gentle and soft, but inside I'm just like wilding, bro, like raging, dog.
Yeah, let it out, bro.
Nah, but that's the thing,
out, man. Let them hear it.
But that's the thing. It's like we have to practice self-control even over those things, right? The things we don't say, and it's like, bro, I can't even control half the thoughts in my brain, son. Bro. Yeah, it's like that's why you really need the Spirit of the Lord, because He's gonna come in and renew your mind and clean you from inwardly, then out. Yeah. Because everything that we say comes from the inside, comes from the heart. Yeah. And then it comes out. Yep. And it's hard. It's like, dog, I gotta practice that joint outwardly, and I gotta practice it in here. I'm like, bro.
Which even shows us how much more we need God, bro.
That's a fact.
Like you just saying that just made me think, like, it talks about even a man who looks at a woman lustfully has committed adultery. That's what Jesus said. And it's just like,
He took that joint to a whole nother level, bro.
Sheesh. It's a lot.
That's tough.
That really, like, we could really, like, there's a lot of meat inside just dealing with self-control. If
we didn't even touch half of it.
Yeah, like we could really go into a whole series about this. I mean, maybe we will, but that's some good stuff.
Yeah, man. Playing footsies over here, y'all. Don't mind us.
Man, close, man. Practice self-control, man.
This man foot hit my joint like it's self-control right here.
My bad, man. That's on me.
So small good, couch. We need the spirit. That's all.
Hey, man, small couch. You know, touch and agree. That's what they say, right? We touch and agree on the topic,
bro.
Man, but yeah, man, we gonna probably. This is probably gonna be one of the quicker ones.
That was good though.
Yeah, that was a good topic. Yeah. We gonna probably
These last 3 topics have been good though.
Yeah, man.
Last 3 weeks.
Last week, man, that joint was.
Last week was probably my favorite.
Yeah,
Ain't gonna lie.
last week was dope.
Yeah, that was a good session.
Yeah, man. Ain't nobody really holding me accountable.
Make sure y'all share the videos and stuff, man. Come on,
yeah,
y'all.
man. You
Help
know,
us out, man.
tell your mama, your baby mama, your baby mama.
You think we're just saying
man.
it to say that?
I'm not just saying it,
man.
man. If you don't have it, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mother. Like, I gotta switch all that up, man.
Word.
Yeah, tell your coworker, tell your employee, tell your pastor,
help us out,
your
man.
bishop.
We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, man. We got a challenge. Is that what it's called? A challenge?
I think it's gonna be a challenge or
right.
something.
I don't know what
We're gonna come up with an idea to be able to, you know, throw some money in there to get people to be able to spread the word. You know what I mean?
Make it drizzle.
Yeah, to spread the word. Cause this stuff ain't easy, man. Some days, most time, I just want to go home, man. Go to sleep.
Me too.
You know what I mean? So
I be hoping Chance don't start crying. My wife be doing her own thing with her friends.
Word.
I'm telling her to shh. No, we trying to record.
Facts.
Then we got kids banging, stomping and bouncing upstairs. It's a lot, but we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate those who came back after we took that hiatus and didn't even say anything, and y'all still tuning in, commenting, and sharing. People are definitely still showing love, so we greatly appreciate that.
Appreciate
and we love y'all for that, and we gonna keep doing our thing as long as we can, and pray that you guys should just keep us lifted up, man, because we need it. We definitely need it. Feel free to engage us, man. Hit us up. I'm at Jim. I'm him.
I am JOPP. You already know.
I am JOPP.
Simple.
We are Real Christian 100, and we are going to catch y'all next week.
God bless, man.
Holla.
That was dope. Guess we're not done. Alright, good. Alright, so. This man's a fool, bro.